Yeah, I don't want to make any excuse, but
Fine.
definitely we should have been the champion last season.
It was a big wave, I think, in the ISL. Legendary players. Did you play with a few of them?
Initially, Gujonsen, West Badam, and Berbatov. Sometimes when you spend time with these big names, immediately you come to know he also a human being, right?
Yeah.
We just we just eat same food, and then you tend to forget that actually this guy's a big name.
So how was your transition out of Pune then to then actually playing in the ISL, and what were the differences between how the league was run, maybe from the I-League to the ISL?
Yeah, so the number of supporters. Of course, I joined the ATK, and of course, ATK was a champion of the first season. That's always an expectation there. Havas, and of course, I was a player from the auction, so expectation on myself was there as well. And also, I felt very dramatic enough to come back to Kolkata the way, such a way that I started my football career in India in Calcutta, and now got the opportunity to come back after almost 10 years down.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great timing and a great moment to be part of the champion side. So pretty motivated, but of course it's done much more professionally, and a lot of things how do I say? Of course, Pune FC was, like I said, one of the best professional club, but I think the amount of the money that spent for ISL clubs is completely different. The budget itself is completely different. So I remember the preseason was in Spain, the facility of the Atlético Madrid, top notch. You can just concentrate on your football, food and everything, the accommodation, just top notch, because Atlético Madrid, actually their player used that facility, right? So it's top notch. And plus in Spain we are allowed to be in the stadium when the Atlético Madrid versus Barcelona. So we are felicitated before the game starts, and we were allowed to go inside the stadium on the pitch and the Park Stadium, and they announced that this guy is the champion of India, and Atlético Madrid and ATK, Kolkata had a tie-up, right? So we are treated as a part of the family of Atlético Madrid.
Wow.
This is top notch. And then we came down from the ground, and the next moment, Messi and Suarez, Neymar, and all, just in front of us. They finished their warming up and everything else.
Wow.
Players are very busy taking pictures. and my wife always tells me, I'm a professional, and this guy's also a professional. Why I have to be a fanboy? So I didn't even click one picture. my wife is mad about it.
Mentality champion.
But then we started, and initially I think we little struggle, and a little bit of unfortunate. That time our marquee player was Postiga from Portugal. I think he had an injury and he could not perform the way he could have been. But slowly we formed a really strong group. Me, myself, Duty, and this one. Volka player, and all other Indian players. I think we did a very good. We had a very good performance in that league. I still feel that time I think we were the best team, but of course sometimes the results don't come. For us.
And plus the pressure's on after you win first, and then the expectation ends up being set that much higher, right? So
sometimes pressure also there, but more than that, it's just it just didn't happen. Luck was not there. I don't want to make any excuse, but definitely we should have been the champion last season.
Right. But that's football, right? That's the nature of football.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you moved to Kerala Blasters.
No, before that
team before.
So that time also again the like we were talking about the footballing system, right? Was not yet set. So that time after ISL, I-League used to start.
Okay.
So
interesting, right?
So those players who has name get the maximum out of this, because you get opportunity to play ISL immediately after ISL. You can play for ID.
Wow.
So almost it's like a double.
I had no idea about that.
What an interesting setup! Playing one league.
Such a strange era. That's never going to happen again, really.
Yeah. So the players would obviously play for one team in the ISL season, and then play for another in the I-League.
So good part was, of course, player like us who has name, automatically after ISL you find a club in ISL. The player is not participating in ISL. The problem is they find it very difficult to find the clubs anymore. So it means you see, if there's a 500 players, probably that time, how many teams in ISL? Maybe 8 or 9 or 10, right? So it means 20, 25 players. So it means 250 players. Only they get the opportunity to play football throughout the year.
Yeah.
So this way, the system was disturbing for players, for sure, that way. But player like us, it was just maximum opportunity. But anyway, so that's after ATK, I signed for Mumbai FC, and I played I-League that time. Yeah.
And what did you say earlier? Mahindra was based in Mumbai.
Yeah, but Mahindra shut down.
But you had done like Kolkata to Kolkata, and then Mumbai to Mumbai as well, coming back, which is nice. So then, how was your experience there?
Mumbai FC was good again. It's completely different with ISS at XYZ. Kari Jami was a coach that time, and I had three Japanese players in the team. It was really good team. Yeah, and that time the Mumbai FC was always doing being a mid-table, and that season we wanted to do really well in the league to become champion. But again, we couldn't be champion. But it was another experience after finishing the ISL. So it was good. And as a player, I think I got a great opportunity to keep playing for 1 year. So that gave me a momentum in my career as well. And after that, Pune City comes in the picture. Yeah. And again, come back to Pune. So again, I found it very dramatic. It was interesting. See, I had a very good season with ATK, right? I scored maximum goals as an Indian player, and plus Indian player, 5 goals, 1 assist. I don't know, this record you need to check. Maybe Chappie scored more than me.
Sure.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, but one of the top scorer I was. And club also did semi-finalist. So anyway, so that time I was getting offer from 2-3 clubs, and Pune City was the one who gave me the maximum, how do I say, appreciation. And again, Abbas is going, Yumi is going. We are talking on the, I still remember on WhatsApp with Yumi. So, bro, what you're thinking? What do you do? Are you gonna go? Something like that. We are just chatting. If you're going, I can think about it. But something like that, just back this.
That's so interesting, right? Players like checking with each other, because obviously in the news as fans, you don't hear any of it. But it's good to see the players are having discussions about whether or not to go.
I think these are quite rare. I think at least for me it's very rare, because usually I really don't disclose about myself to the other players, other professionals, because I try to create a distance. Professional distance. But that's why I said this ATK. I think we are really good as a group. Also, we are always talking. We are trying to be a good group, and results was coming. So I think that's the reason why I was probably attached to a few players from that group. Not only him, Augustin Fernandez, left centre back. I always appreciate his performance in that season. After that, probably he didn't really got a great career. I'm not so sure about that, but what a fullback. Fullback. Because I was playing left wing, right? Because of him, I really didn't need to focus on the defending part. He gave me the freedom to focus on attack. That's the reason why I could score a lot of goals that season. But other clubs, whenever I play for, let's say Mumbai FC or in the Pune FC, I was in charge of most of the things, in attack, in defense. I had to do so many things, and sometimes it drops my, doesn't come on the number, for example, assisting or the goal.
Of course, naturally.
I had to do so many things, right? But that season, Augustin gave me maximum freedom. So I always appreciate that player. I hope he's doing well. Good guy.
And that was in the era where there was like a lot of signings of like sort of legendary players that sort of made their career in Europe and then came over. There was a big wave, I think, in the ISL. Did you play with a few of them actually? Whether that be at ADK or at Kerala Blasters later on? Were there any names that sort of would stand out?
Of course, that time the marquee players there. So the ADK was Postiga.
Of course.
National team, and Pune City was initially Gujonsen.
Yes.
I was so excited because Gujonsen is the golden era of Chelsea, right? And I was reading the magazine, and today I'm standing next to him and I'm playing with him. In Spain, there's a pre-season was in Spain again. It was not Malaga, I forgot where it was. But anyway,
Because Johnson played for Barcelona as well, didn't he? Yeah.
one friendly game, no training game we were playing, and Gudjonsson forgot his singer, and I had two singer. So I gave singer to him, and he scored the goal. I was top of the world. Like, oh, he's scoring the goal. I'm like, yeah, I was so excited to play with Gudjonsson, but unfortunately, again, he also had a little bit of injury. He could not continue during the season. Then after that, Sissoko came. Yeah,
Sissoko.
Sissoko.
What a throwback.
Wow.
Yeah, well, amazing.
You used to always have it on FIFA.
Yeah.
70 plus all round.
And Canada Brothers was obviously West Madam and Berbatov.
Yeah.
These two also. Being a child, I used to read them on the magazine. Suddenly he's in front of me, and it was almost, I don't want to say, but I was about being a fanboy moment. But of course, once we start to play together, once stay together, it becomes more team, right? So those feelings not existing anymore. As a professional, we were very, very good. This also I still remember. And sometimes when you spend time with these so-called big names, but immediately you come to know he also a human being, right? We just eat same food, and then you tend to forget that actually these guys are big names. But one day, after the training session in Spain, we went to eat some outside food. Myself, Huey, and where was there? No, I think West was there. And we were eating and we were watching the game, and suddenly we are surrounded by the people, and they started to chant for this West. And I realized, wow, this guy's a superstar. And, of course, the United supporters all over the world, right?
Of course.
It was one moment. Yeah, very nice guy, especially West was a general guy, very, very humble, always nice to everyone, doesn't matter whether this or that, doesn't matter, staff to everyone. He was a hard-working guy, although I think he has a little bit of issue with the knee and all, but still he kept his commitment alive and did his best.
And how were the Indian players' attitude towards the injection of so many foreign players? Because obviously it created a lot of media buzz, but from your guys' perspective in the national team, what were your thoughts on it?
About behavior of Indian players.
Yeah, how
Was it like, did they see it as a good thing? Did the players see it as a good thing?
Now, to be honest, many times I was feeling that Indian players, local players, need to take much more responsibility, and I think ownership when they play in India.
Right.
Indian Super League, of course, that time there was a 4 foreigner, 5 foreigner, sometimes even 6 foreigner, but it's an Indian league, right?
Of course.
Locals are the main supposed to be. You cannot keep relying on foreigners to do something, right?
So was that the feeling then?
I think it was there initially, but nowadays I think it's not so much because I can see so many Indian players are being outstanding. Over the foreign players as well. So I think that is something that because those players who were young, initial phase of ISL, and they spend so much of time with ISL already 5, 6, 7 years down. For example, Sahar. He was 19 years old when I was playing for Kerala Blasters, right? I think so, that young he was. But now he's taking full ownership of his performance and everything. He's been outstanding individually as well. So such as these young players also experience with ISL, with the foreigners, the quality foreigners, I think that gives an opportunity for them to develop themselves, to take much more responsibility and ownership in their performance.
And we're senior players in the national team now. Some of them we played with, Sandesh Jingan. Did you play with him? And now obviously he's captaining.
Again, 19 years old.
So how were they then? And you've obviously seen their career progress. Could you know that they were going to become this?
So of course, like I said, time gave him a lot of opportunity to become today's Sandy. But Sandy was Sandy from the beginning. He was a fighter. He was always eager and he's smart. So obviously his development was anticipated, and I think he took really brave step to go to Croatia also. I think that is a very challenging environment that he put himself in, which is encouraging, right? Yeah, does not matter whether he was successful or he was not. Does not matter.
Yeah.
Going there, going out from the comfort zone is something that all other Indian players also should be thinking about it.
Absolutely.
If there's an opportunity, they should be going in. Of course, I know Indian football pays a lot of money, and sometimes that is the most important thing, which is normal. But at the same time, if at all you really look for the development, probably it's time for Indian players to really go out from the comfortable environment to play as a foreign player in other country. That is going to give a gigantic leap as a human being, as well as a football player. Because that's what other Asian countries did it, right?
Yeah.
I myself came to India as a foreigner.
Of course.
And so many Japanese players play any other countries. Korean players also same. Australian players comes abroad, comes to in India and then make a cut, right?
Yeah.
Such a way, it is going to be challenging for any Indian national team players to play as a foreign player in another country, but I think it's time for them to really think about it. And I think few players will be able to.
Yeah, I think it's the next natural step, really, isn't it? Because we've said that there's like an ecosystem in India. Obviously, there's Indian football has its problems, probably will for the foreseeable future. But there's a league that's there now, and that's great. But I think we actually recently made a video which we're going to post soon about Sunil Chetri and how his journey to Portugal. Even as you just said, even if it didn't go as well as he would have hoped, the fact that he did that is almost the achievement if you look at it from the Indian football perspective. And I'd like to get your thoughts on how those kind of pathways could start coming about, really. I mean, when we sort of met for the first time, you mentioned that there's not a way, but there's been a few examples of players that have gone, for example, to Japan. There's others in Indian football who are trying to get really young Indian footballers into Europe early. There's a lot of these different ideas. I'd like to get your take on how you think that would happen outside of just the top professionals trying to go abroad. We understand that, like they just tried to sign for a team in Croatia, for example, the way Sandesh did. But how else could Indian football sort of organize itself to provide those opportunities?
So first of all, this opportunity is, I think it's a great opportunity, but we have to utilize this opportunity because the environment in Indian football at this point of time is not allowing the players to develop the way they should be. So I don't say this is like a really solution, but if at all it's needed at this point of time, yes, why not, right? And I know for the fact a lot of players across Europe having a dream of becoming a player of European, one of the maybe best league, maybe that is, let's say, La Liga, Premier League, Bundesliga. But at this point of time, probably it is to achieve that is probably a little bit too far.
There's like a ladder.
Yeah, as a first step, probably it could be a little too far. That's why I said the Indian players should start to think about going abroad and play as a foreigner. It means probably it's going to be a ASEAN area or the South Asia region, or at all, if you're looking for the development in Japan, could be one of the very interesting
for sure.
destination. As you know, Japanese football developed rapidly once Japan started to participate in the World Cup 1998, I think, 1998. And since then, Japan is always part of the World Cup and sometimes beat one of the biggest footballing nations as well. Yeah. And consistently, this country is producing good players that can create an impact in the top league of the world.
Yeah, you've seen them in the Premier League, right? Kagawa, obviously Park,
Mitoma.
You've got Tomiyasu, who was at Arsenal.
Exactly,
So you see the influence of them playing at bigger and better leagues and how that's helped the country.
Exactly.
So how are the Indian players that you know getting on over there who have moved to Japan?
So to continue to my story, so what I was saying is, the Japanese football focus on a lot of development. And even though if you're maybe 18 plus or something like that, or even the professional side also, they still look to develop the players. So the training session is such that it's created the way that players can expect further development to really get into the first team or something. Right. That's all. So for me, at least, personal opinion, it is very suitable for Indian players. Because in India, till 18 years old, probably you develop yourself with the youth developmental system. But after that, 18 years old, once you become professional football player, it is extremely difficult for him to get the playing time. If at all bridge this gap between 18 to 21 years old, because 21 years old is something that you as a human being, physically, mentally, you are developed right completely. If at all we can create a good opportunity for them to earn some playing time with the high intensity, high competitive game, I think that is something that probably gonna give a lot of opportunity for this player to get in the ISL. Immediately becomes an impact for the first 11, something like that. So there's a few clubs in Japan who is ready to accommodate Indian players, and they are probably not top J League 1, J League 2, J League 3. These are 3 professional, and like a JFL is a 4th division. In the 5th division, it is a kind of a state league team, but they are very, very high quality.
Yeah, and it provides opportunities still up the ladder if you play well. So yeah.
And also Japan doesn't have the criteria for example, in Europe there are lots of criteria to gain the work permit as a professional to play for the top league. But Japan doesn't have it. So you can very much actually, technically you can sign J League 1st division also if you're good enough. And that opportunity is there. So I found this might be a very, very interesting pathway for Indian players to think about Japan as one of the destination for their development, also footballing development, also holistic development. Japan is a country who gives you a lot of unique exposure with a unique culture. Of course, everyone know about the discipline and the how Japanese people are. By living there, by understanding the language and locals, probably he can gain something much more than football as well. So we always say everyone cannot be a professional player, but then if we can create some other plan B by experiencing something else, I think that's what we want to bring to the next generation, the people. So so that point of view as well, in my opinion, Japan is a very unique one. So if anybody is looking to look for some kind of a opportunity, probably you can look at Japan as one of the pathway for you.
So we've talked about options abroad. Now, what would be your take on grassroots and coaching here in India? As in, what would you... So grassroots in India, as we know, isn't as well developed. That's why other players are now looking at options abroad to kick on with their career. So if I had a question for you, it'd be like, what would you change about Indian grassroots and the fact that it hasn't progressed in the last 5 to 10 years?
I was thinking about that, but the fact is the number of the games for the youth or the grassroots increased a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so the AIF also connecting the blue card, right? Such as so many private entry also organizing the private tournament, and there's a lot of games are going on. So I think that way, I also have to think that, of course, 6 years old to become 18 years old, you need 12 years, right? Yeah. But I think we are still talking about the 5-6 years down, and we want to see some drastic change, but probably that is a little bit maybe being a little bit impatient. So probably actual results may come another 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down, and we may see some of the break. Because recently I've been part of the football academy in Pune itself, like in Pune FC it was, and looking at the talent is just amazing. Like 11 years old, 10 years old, there's a full of football going on. And in fact, I knew it because when I was with the Lions Foundation, so when I joined them, I started to take the team to Japan every year. Yeah. And at 12 years old, when we take them to Japan, they can compete with J League clubs. They can compete. J League clubs in Japan, their youth development under 12 means they are exposed to the elite training session from 6 years old to 12 years old, so 6 years of exposure. But our boys, that time young champs boys, they just came to us, they exposed to the elite training session only for 3 months.
Wow.
Still,
really?
Yeah, with the talent, with the potential, we can compete with the J League teams. That speaks everything, right? How talented these players in this country is. But unfortunately, after the same team, I take them to Japan when they are 18 years old, we lose 10-0. Yeah. So it's obviously between this time, how many number of competitive games, what is the quality of the competitive games they expose is going to show the results after the 6 years. So if at all India can create that game time, that quality game time, that is a solution for us to go ahead as an Indian.
Yeah, especially combined with quality coaching as well. So game time and coaching, because we know that you've done your AFC pro license and been an assistant manager. How was your time transitioning from a player to a coach?
So again, after finishing my career, hanging my boots was in 2018, I think so. So I was always wanting to be a coach. So during my playing career, I did all the licensing till A license. That was my plan, so that I can make a smooth transition from playing career to coaching career. And same time, in my opinion, playing football and coaching is a completely different ball game altogether. And I wanted to give myself time to really understand and have the practical experience as a coach before getting into the professional setup or the senior setup. That's why the reason I decided to join the Alliance Foundation in Champs.
Yeah.
After my playing career, so 2018, and this academy gave me a lot of exposure and a lot of opportunity to learn about what is coaching is. And after 5 years, I thought I'm ready. That's the reason I get into professional senior side, which is the Intakashi.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, this 5 years and plus my playing career, I was always thinking maybe this youth development is something that the similar way of coaching is what is necessary in the senior team in India when it comes to the India perspective. So, and after joining the Intakashi, I was right, just right. Because usually when you are training or when you are coaching the professional side, it is not about the development anymore. It is how much you are going to win the games, how much you manage those others and footballers who is quite naughty people. But the Indian football is not at that level, and the players are eager to learn, players are ready to learn, players are ready to improve. I've seen so many players, even after 30 years old, he developed so much that season 2023-24, right? Yeah. When I was with Intakashi as an assistant coach, and of course all the other coaches come from Atlético Madrid and all quality coaches. We were amazed every single session we were talking, he became such a good player, he changed so much. So, such a way, my pathway, I think I justified me that I invested 5 years for youth and get into the professional. So that way transition was very, very smooth for me, getting into the professional side.
Firstly, who's your favourite player you've ever played with?
So initially it was Paul Scholes, but then later was Ibrahimovic.
Oh wow!
Paul Scholes was someone that I mean, of course, he's a superstar, great player, but not like a superstar like Messi or Cristiano.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think the club need him. No matter what, other player maybe you can change, but the Paul has to be there or something.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be a player like that.
Yeah.
So I used to like Paul a lot. Zlatan was simply, he has everything that I don't have. I simply admire his egoistic and his comments, and of course he is gigantic, very intimidating fellow. Yeah, wish I could be that kind of player as well. So just admire.
Cool.
Yeah.
And out of the players that you did play with, who was the best that you played?
Indian players, like just now I was mentioning about Fernandez.
Yeah.
But of course, all of them are dear friends to me, and I had a great time and great fight. So always the memories there. But for Indian, obviously Hugh was one of the most quality player, I must say. I still remember in that season with ATK, I scored a few good goals, but most of the time, Hugh gave me the opportunity. Of course, I gave him an assist as well. On and off the pitch, he's a brilliant human being. So he's a great guy.
I think you mentioned it the other day, but I forgot who it was. What team do you actually support?
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea. This also because it's blue color.
Yeah.
But Mourinho's time, I was like, I really like it. Yeah.
Good area. Thank you for coming on. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you like that sort of content, please feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.